absolutely gorgeous day to start the week. Tapping out like 3 hours zone 2. Going to be a rest week, so rest day tomorrow, 3 days on at lower volume, less intensity, openers ride, and then got the team pursuit open on the Sunday. Been like 5 weeks of training since I had my big 5-day break. Even though I'm not like feeling in a hole at all, I know I need to give myself that room for recovery. Easing off in the volume this week, but not crazy. Probably average 14 hours a week for the last 3 weeks. Drop this down to like 11. Weather's looking a bit grim the rest of the week, so make the most of it today. Get out for a nice ride. You can ride that.
I've been feeling off these past few weeks and I couldn't put my finger on it. But I think I have an idea of what's been going on. After the British Champs IP, I've kind of leading up to that, I decided that I'd always said that I was going to train full time for like 3 years and then see how it went. It could have been 2, could have been 4. But I always had 3 years in my mind. So ending with the British Champs IP in 2027. So building towards that event, doing that event, hopefully doing well at it, and then getting onto the GB team. But if not, then I'd get a job and continue time trialing, but see what it's like balancing training, racing alongside a job. Because I don't know how much that's going to impact me, how much I'm going to enjoy it if I don't enjoy it as much because of that. But even though that's the plan, it kind of has just I think it's just been putting a lot of pressure on myself, thinking that shit, this is I've been taking it seriously for the past 2 years, but there hasn't been the same pressure of like, oh, this is it, this is the final year, the make or break moment. Pressure has developed, more pressure in 2025, having the support from Matt and feeling the responsibility to do well for the team. Maybe feel that a little bit more this year even, but I know that I work best in that environment where I'm very neutral about things. I'm not getting attached to the outcome of things. Just get the work done, and then the result is what the result is. I think I've slipped away from that in the past few weeks. So yeah, I'll look to get back to that state of mind, that very neutral state of mind. Yeah, just do the best I can this year. And I'm sure, like, based on 2024 and 2025, we should see good results, and I'm doing certain things like much better. I've learned from those mistakes that I've made along the way, and I know I can put together a really good year, but there's no guarantee of that good year. I just have to give it my best shot and then see what I can do. But I'm also like content with and like happy with the outcome either way. If I don't make it on the GB team 2027, I don't want to be training full time forever. Like I want to get a job, do it as a hobby. Like, feel a bit sad to me just like doing it, even though there's like no chance of it really going anywhere, which for me is becoming a professional. When you're working full time, you're always like, it's always grass is greener on the other side, you know. I wish I had more time to commit to my hobby, but then when you do that hobby as your job, like, you burn through that shit really quickly. Like, it's not a slow burner, and it goes fast. And yeah, that's why you can burn out. And I think returning to, see if I can return to having a job and then having this cycling and training thing as a hobby. But if not, then find a different hobby. Well, I've got another one in mind that I really enjoy. So if I get burnt out with the cycling, I'll move on to that. But there's infinite things that you can be doing with your life and having those hobbies. That probably didn't make sense. It made sense to me, but I think we might be feeling better. Got a tickle in the throat. I think I might have a cough cold coming. Back to standard, Tom. Getting ill after training. That's what we're familiar with, boys. I mean, I've got a rest day tomorrow. Hopefully it's nothing major, and I can maybe have to have an extra rest day, but play it by ear. Yeah, feeling much better mentally. I'm about to be down in the dumps physically for the next couple of days. Rest week anyway though, so don't need to do much. I've hardly been training, mate. got myself a new heart rate monitor, so see if this works all right. Same one as I had before, which has worked well for a good couple of years. So yeah, happy to stick with the Coast Bow. Lasted longer than this Polar H10 that I originally got years ago, so happy to go with the cheaper one. Only cost me like 20 quid. 3 minutes of maximum fatigue test, which felt very difficult. Calves just like bricks. Tough work, so down to exhaustion. 6 minutes maybe. Changed the bike around, so I've lowered the stack on the front, dropped it by 2 centimeters. Position looks better, I think. Flattens off the back a lot. Deload session today, what I was going to try and do was 3 by 5 minutes high torque in the sticks. So have a go at that. I reckon a bit of a relaxed position, but in the TT position, because I guess the high torque effort is basically just like grinding up a drag on a course. Speed's going to be slow, so aero isn't as important, but it's still good to be in the extensions. So aim for like 50 RPM, maybe like 60. They're not going to be as good as the high torque efforts I did on the road bike during the winter. See how that goes. Done some sprints as well. Yeah, just a bit of a easy session, topping up different things, topping up different energy systems. Haven't been sprinting in a while, so getting some sprints done. Yeah, probably be about 2 hours on the bike. Spent like an hour playing around with the position at the start, so before I even started recording on the Wahoo. So yeah, heart rate data as well, which is good. Also means the core sensor can get some proper heart rate data to feed its pretty rubbish algorithm. Not a fan of the core sensor really. I don't think it's very useful. Like, I've never really got very reliable data from it. The first one broke and they sent me a replacement of the new one, and even still it's just like the data's just not very useful to me, because it's just a bit all over the shop. I'll do a heat training session and it'll be like 38 degrees. I'll layer up in a certain way, get out for an outdoor ride, tapping away zone 2, and it'll say 38.6. It's like, bro, like you're just wrong. Tough work that. Also did some kind of testing of the Quark versus the Kicker. 3 by 4 minutes at 400 watts. It was reading a bit under 10 watts lower, like 380 high. 5 minutes at 360, 340, 320, 300, 280, and they were all typically reading 10 watts lower, 8 to 10 watts lower. A better idea of what this Quark's like. I'm pretty sure the old Quark was like in line with the Kicker, like 1 or 2 watts lower for the most part, especially around that 400 watt range. So this power meter is probably reading 10 watts lower, so that would make sense. So good TT I did over the past few weeks. 3714 in Hull, I averaged 408 I think, so that'll be 418 on the old power meter, which is a couple watts lower than what I was doing this time last year on that course. So that makes a lot more sense. A bit of lacking fitness, but nothing ridiculous. Also playing around with the position a lot. It's having the cleats forward, like right at the front of the toe. It's way too hard on the calves. I had that cleat position in 2024, but especially doing it in 2025, like moving back to it now. I mean, I was fine on the V714. I think it was feeling pretty achy on the race on Saturday, but just doing these training sessions, my calves are just on fire. Like, I can get it so that my quads, hamstrings and glutes are also firing hard, but yeah, it just feels like tightness that's not helping to push the pedals any harder. So I think I'll move back to the neutral cleat position as far back as it will go. Even though it's more of like a isometric strain, like if your calves just pop and they start cramping, like you're not going to be able to push the pedals. As long as I can make it fit with the setup and clear the knees, which I think it should do still. Maybe need to bring the saddle a tiny bit further back. I'll move back to the neutral cleat position, but worth experimenting with for sure. Pretty heavy legs today, I think, doing the high torque stuff, so they're not surprising. But hour and a half into my ride now and legs are feeling better for that. Just tapping away, doing 2 odd hours into.
ride that. Almost got murked by a car door. That wasn't fun. Yeah, that was a bit of a close one. Probably like 3/4 of a meter away from. I was 3/4 of a meter away from the parked car. But yeah, they just opened the door. They did stop and like pull it back, but yeah, that was sketchy. Almost pulled a Remco. That happened to him and a postman. Start of 2025 was that. But yeah, just need to expect the unexpected when out on the roads and just like put yourself in a safe position. Nothing happens for a while and then you feel a bit strange riding in the primary position a lot of the time, and you're like, oh, maybe I should tuck in. But then when stuff like that happens, it just reminds you that you need to just give yourself that room and that bailout option. Thankfully it was all alright though, so yeah. Horrible weather tomorrow, so I'll be on the turbo. Can't happen on the turbo. No snotty nose today. Normally when I'm scrolling through the data fields after the ride, I'm like holding in a trying not to snivel, but yeah, we're actually good today. On the turbo for a deload threshold session today. Done some sprints, got the motor running, and then I'm going to do 2 by 16 minutes threshold, stick in erg mode, 350 watts. See how that is. Yeah, just thinking like, for my races, like I never do a warm-up, I just do spin around zone 2 and I feel really good to go. I should probably end up doing that for my training sessions as well. That's what feels right, that's what makes me, like, I don't know about feel best because I never do a extensive warm-up. But maybe I'm a bit gassed going into my sessions and I should do a bit less, just spin the legs out for 20 minutes and then let's go. If I've got some extra work I want to be getting done, do that afterwards. Sprints will be lower quality, but that's fine. Bit of an interesting thought. Surprisingly difficult that. Even with 4 fans on, it's like a mild form of heat training as well. Spin the legs out now and then change over the bikes. Change over the bikes and actually do 30 minutes of heat. Yeah, so 2 by 16 minutes, 6-minute rest. The first one, the cadence was quite low, like 80 RPM, and my calves, even with the neutral cleat position, were just absolutely on fire. And for the second one, I made sure to keep it above 90 RPM, and the calves, like, they're working a little bit, but they're not absolutely bricked like they are for the first effort. And then when the cadence dropped for the last few minutes, the calves were really starting to hurt. But yeah, heart's very under control. They were like 160 BPM average, but my legs are just absolute bricks. Getting back on the stretching grind. Didn't do my stretching routine last week, by making sure I'm stretching every day. So yeah, all good. So change over to the old bike for the heat training. To be honest, I wouldn't get this one too sweaty. Only thing is, I don't want these shoes to stink. I use a old pair of shoes I crashed in for heat training. 30 minutes of heat training, 250 watts erg mode, so I'm recording on the left-sided osteoma. Whew. So cutting it down from 40 minutes because it's my deload week. So just cutting down the volume a little. Puddle of sweat inside here. I've not got a t-shirt on to lap it up. Heart rate nice and under control. It's just my legs that are knackered. I mean, they were fine for that ride, but for the session I was in bits. Short little openers ride before the Team Pursuit event tomorrow morning. Warm up, a couple of sprints, half an hour spin on the bike. That'll do me. Lovely morning, just heading off to Derby Velodrome for the Team Pursuit Open this morning, so that'll be good fun.
first effort done. Just popped out to the car to grab my book because it'll be about 2 hour turnover for our next effort. So got an hour and a half plus. Yeah, it was good. We were quite a bit quicker with the adrenaline. Like that first 10 laps, we were in the 16s. When in training, we're in the 17s for the most part. So yeah, we were just quicker off the line, which meant that towards the back end, people were struggling a bit. So normally Bixie would do 2 on his second time on the front, pulled off after 1, so meant that I'd do 5 to finish it off. But I was hearing holds, and when I hold is, you don't, obviously you're on a track bike, you don't stop. You just try and stabilise the pace, don't push on anymore. And I felt like I was doing that, but unfortunately Bixie did fall off the back for the last couple of laps. But it was still, because we were so much quicker off the start, it was about the same sort of time as our best one in training last week, so like 4:37. So yeah, promising, because yeah, it didn't go perfectly. We struggled off the start as well. Jack struggled to get off the line, which meant that there was a big gap to Tom, and I thought Bixie was actually going to drop into man 2 to close it, but it would have been a bit too unfamiliar, so he ended up leaving the gap open, and Jack had to work really hard to get on. And we're a bit always a bit shambles for this that first lap to come back together. I went from chasing to shit, I'm going to chop myself. I had to swerve out, but like when I'm right on the back, I don't have to worry about anyone behind me. It's just like I do that first 2 laps, and then I need to make sure I'm like nicely in the line, because Tom's getting on behind me, and I'm like, right, someone's on my wheel, I need to be nice and stable. But those first 2 laps, I'm always shambles. But yeah, we'll chill out for a bit now, and then yeah, get on again. Probably similar order, just be a bit more conservative off the line, and yeah, hopefully do an even better time. So that'll be really good.
The boys. Go on, Tom!